Hey, greetings everyone. Welcome to the EV show by Ludicrous Feed. I'm your host, Tom Gan. Thanks so much for joining us this evening on the 3rd of April 2024. First stream of Q2 2024. How exciting. Also the last stream of Australian Eastern Daylight Saving Time as well. So winding our clocks back next weekend, well this weekend instead. So yeah, it should be good. And then we're really into the full swing of 2024 indeed. Let's say hello to our regular guest as always, Mr. Riz Akhtar. Hello Riz, how are you this evening?
Hey Tom, going well. First quarter's already gone.
Gone.
Wow,
Gone in 60 seconds. Well, not
it's
quite.
it's quick. It's quick.
Very fast.
Um, yeah, and yeah, we're already in daylight saving sort of next week, and
Mm.
then before you know it, we'll be in June, and lots of EVs launching between now and then. So we'll talk a
Mm.
bit more about some of them later on today.
Yeah, very exciting times indeed, so cannot wait. Yep. Let's get into the show tonight. Let's thank our sponsors to start with, and that is, of course, Riz from Carloop. If you want data, here's your man. Riz is the one to go to, empowering Australia's EV revolution. And, of course, Koba Car Insurance, and they have just launched their EV-specific product. So go check out Koba Car Insurance. Links in the video description below. I'll be doing a full dive into their product with an unpack episode probably later this month. So check that out, give us your feedback, and tell us if it's a competitive product for EV owners. All right, Riz, let's say hello to our regular guests as always. So we have Sensei congratulating us on 30,000 subscribers. I think we're pretty close. So yeah, thanks anyway in advance. Appreciate that. Hello, Gaffer, nice to see you. Thank you, H2 Rider, congratulating us as well. Thank you, Robin Jules. Same to you. Thank you. And hello, Mark B. as well. An autumn Melbourne evening. Yeah, it's been some nice weather in Sydney as well over the Easter break. Hope you all had a nice Easter as well over the last 4 days. I certainly enjoyed the 4 days off over the long weekend. Hello, John, from a very humid Brisbane. Still humid in Brisbane this time of the year. Hello, us Screamer from a cooling Canberra. Hello, Paul. Hello, SWS. Hello, Steve P. So many members, Riz. So good to see the support for the channel.
It's huge.
It's great. Thank you, Gene. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Stan from Kangaroo Island. Great to see all you guys. Oh, and Steve ordered a Polestar 2 today, and he's very excited. So congratulations. There's a few Polestar owners in the chat too. So thank you for those news. Thank you. Hello, Hal. Nice to see you there as well. And yes, well, I'm not sure about this, Riz. Rolls-Royce gifting us a full EV Spectre for 30,000 subscribers. I don't think that's part of the YouTube policy, unfortunately.
Look, we don't take bribes on this channel, but you know, Rolls-Royce, it's more of a gift rather than a bribe. So if that's what they're going to do for Tom, we'll make it happen.
Well, I know there's no such thing as a free lunch, but that's okay. I'll take the lunch anyway. Pay for it later. Oh, Jason, big fan of yours, Riz. Riz the Rizmeister.
Hey.
There's no one else. Hello, Wayne from Toowoomba. Hello there. And hello, Peter from Canberra as well. Nice to see you. Hello, Jez. Oh, good friend Jez from Riz Akhtar's Heated Pool in Toorak. I thought it was, wasn't it East? It was East Toorak, wasn't it?
I see him. He's out there.
You see him? Oh.
He's in my pool.
Get out of the pool.
I'll crank it up.
And maybe Elon will come back. He was on last week, wasn't he? On our stream.
He dropped some bombshells last week. Maybe he will come back.
So good to see you guys on the chat. And hello, Rachel, as well, from rainy Toowoomba, getting soaked. Yep. Okay, well, good to see you guys getting some rain. Well, Riz, speaking of bombshells, you were at a very important event this afternoon in Melbourne, hobnobbing it as always with very important guests. So tell us all about this event here.
So, look, I got my name Hollywood Riz thanks to the viewers on this show, and I got a random email yesterday basically saying, "Hey, you're in Melbourne. BYD is going to be previewing one of their new flagship megastores in Melbourne, Victoria. Do you want to pop by?" And us, you know, had a couple of meetings, but eventually made it down that way. So I got a chance to go for a bit of a sneak peek of what this particular experience center is. It's much smaller than Alexandria, but it's sort of the most fanciest we have in Melbourne. So a few BYD products there. And then before you know it, speaking of people like Elon Musk, Chairman Wang Chuan-fu from BYD himself, the founder, the CEO, the chairman, decides to walk through.
Wow.
And there he is walking there. Obviously, multi-billionaire, founded the company, started making batteries, and yeah, he came to check out the store.
And huge entourage to follow him too.
Oh, huge! Basically, more than what most rappers have. It was interesting. He unveiled. There he is, and he sort of went through the store, um, unveiled it, had a little bit of a plaque, and then afterwards there was a ribbon cutting ceremony, and the delivery of the first vehicle from this store, which was just being previewed. So there's sort of the ceremony underway. It lasted a whole of 3 seconds. And yeah, decided to sort of hand over a car to a customer who had ordered a BYD seal, like you, Tom. I know you had a private ceremony with Chairman Wong, but he got that done, and then before you know, him and his entourage were off. And I was there sipping green tea. So that was sort of the end of the story.
Now, Riz, you're so humble. Like, honestly, this guy is like, he's like the big wig. You know, this is like, you can't get much bigger than this in the EV world. He's the head of BYD Global, right? Like, you know, and he shook your hand, I believe. He knew who you were.
Well, he had an idea. He came to see me though, but then I had to make sure I didn't want to get into any altercations with his posse, so I stayed away for a bit. But I did capture the ribbon cutting ceremony and him sort of talking about what where BYD is heading. So they're about to do some pretty big things, and one of the big sort of bombshell stories to come out of today, Luke Todd reckons there will be between 70 and 100 new stores opening before the end of this year around
Wow.
Australia.
Wow. That's huge. That's nothing to sneeze at. Like, I know we talk a lot about online ordering, but I don't know. I think people still love going into a store like this and checking it out, touching the cars, feeling the upholstery, checking the build quality, kicking the tires, all that stuff you do with cars. And I think BYD onto a good thing here, like, you know, and obviously piggybacking onto the back of Eagers to roll out their stores. I mean, 70 to 100 stores, that's huge. That's nothing to sneeze at.
Well, for some context, I believe Toyota has about 200 and something dealerships, from what I can understand. And it's taken them decades to build those. MG has about 90. And Cherry, who we know we had a quick sneak peek at their Omoda EV a couple of weeks ago in Sydney, they are approaching between 70 odd dealerships. But, they're partnering with the existing dealership groups. So all of these manufacturers have to do the same. So yeah, it's going to be quite an interesting thing to see that rapid growth. And we believe that BYD is launching at least 2 more models, mainly in the plug-in hybrid space. But it's very likely that we will get full electric versions of the same models in 6 to 12 months after those plug-in hybrids launch, because there's a market for both of them. There's a market for, as much as we love our EVs, not everyone can spend $50,000-$60,000 on a car. And if they can get a plug-in hybrid, which gives 100 kilometers of range to some people, it takes that whole factor out of potentially, it's sort of the intermediate car. And I believe, from what I understand anyway, that BYD's technology is slightly different because you can go 100 odd Ks, but that's to be tested. But that leads the way for full electric models. So CLU will launch as a plug-in hybrid. Within 6 odd months after that, it's very likely that we will also get a fully electric version. And same with the Ute, that will launch as a plug-in hybrid to begin with. And then next year, we should get the fully electric version of that as well. So,
now I'm very curious about the hybrid, design that BYD have got in store for us. Like, I've tested a lot of hybrids, and I just don't like the fact that the petrol engine kicks in after a while. Whereas I think, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this could potentially keep the electric motor running longer without having to get into the petrol side of things. So that'll be a good test, actually.
I'm just as curious as you are, Tom, because if this can do 100 Ks on pure electric driving, if that's what this technology can do without the engine turning on, then this will work for most people. And it will sort of, get away from the fact it's a gateway drug. So, you sort of have to, but I mean, I'm not sure. We have to find out. Obviously, we fully want to make sure that, we're advocating for battery electric vehicles. They're here. If the price difference happens to be 15 to 20 grand and it makes it unaffordable for some people to make that switch to a mid to large size SUV, then cool. If that option is available, great. If it's taking people away from buying Mitsubishi Outlanders and other similar large SUVs that are priced about the same sort of 45 to 50 grand, then it's a good thing. But I guess we'll find out if the technology really is different. That launch should happen in the next 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay, pretty soon. All right. Well, I'm excited to hear that they could potentially be bringing the fully electric CLU and fingers crossed the C-Line 07. That's the one I'm really keen to see. I don't know if that's ever going to come here or not, but that'd be great.
Well, I did whisper in Chairman Wong's ear. I said, "Hey, Sea Lion," and you never know.
Good. That's what we want to see. Yep. Influencing the big wigs in town. Thanks, Riz. Yeah, we've got a few people agreeing with us here. So we've got from the comments someone agreeing that we should have some stores so people can actually touch and feel these cars. Yes, Steve's saying Riz Akhtar, private audience with the chairman. Yep, always. That's why we have Riz on. And yeah, Stan likes your photos. Good event. Yeah, it looks like good event for sure. And yeah, we got Oz Screamer saying agree that we need people want to see things in person for sure. Jason tried to get a test drive for the Seal, but never got back to him, so he just bought one. Hey, that's one way to do it. No problem. Yeah, and yeah, SW. So I agree with you. That's why I bought one. The premium is the pick of the Seals. Just very good value for sure. Yeah, look at Norway. Hybrids are not very popular. Yep.
I think what will happen is they will very quickly learn that, where tomorrow I think we'll get our VFAX for March.
Oh, yes.
And early indicators sort of suggest that we're going to have a good March, which leads to believe that people want electric cars. They plug-in hybrids may be okay, but I guess time will tell.
Time will tell, for sure. Thank you, Dave C, for being a new member. Appreciate that. Now, Kevin's asking you, Riz, where in Melbourne is the store? I believe this is where the the current Tesla showroom is in Cremorne.
It's literally less than 100 meters from where the Tesla showroom is in Cremorne. 650 Church Street in Cremorne.
There you go. Go check it out. Now, after that, Riz, of course, you drove away in your Spectre. Now, this is the one in the Bangkok International Motor Show in Bangkok, Thailand. Nice of you to loan that to Thailand, Riz.
I had to. They, in exchange, gave me a smaller one that's behind me at the moment. That's in gold as well, so we kept the same paint. But yeah, I mean, isn't this fascinating? We've got a car that retails at 770 odd thousand before any, probably tens of thousands of options that you can get on that car. It's been showcased in Thailand, and obviously there's a lot of wealthy people there, but the Bangkok Auto Show seems to be where all the EVs in our regions are sort of being presented and launching. So if the organizers are listening, I've lent you the Spectre this year, but next year Tom and I need to jump on a plane, premium first class Thai Airways, straight to Bangkok.
Correct. Yeah, we'll film Crazy Rich Asians too, Riz, you and I.
That's right.
We'll take the Spectre for a drive through Southeast Asia. More on the Bangkok Motor Show later on in the stream, but this is courtesy of Steve A, who's been sending me photos from Thailand. So thank you, Steve, if you're watching tonight. Now, speaking of VFAX, Riz, we've got some stats from Tesla growth, and Riz has been kindly tracking this data for us.
Apologies for the quality. I should. I need to go to Specsavers. So
Spectre Savers.
I'll get Spectre Saver. I'll get you a better quality graph next time, Tom.
No problem.
This huge growth. I don't know what's happened in March in New South Wales. I think the whole Tesla fleet's grown by nearly 10%. So we're approaching 35,000 EVs, up from 31 odd thousand, which is large growth. I don't know if it's the time when I checked that sort of data, or but I believe it's going to be a pretty big month in New South Wales, which is generally reflective of what's about to happen in the rest of the country. ACT sales were also pretty popular, from what I heard from one of your viewers, Tom. Ben was able to share some of those details, and it seems that, yeah, it's going to be a big month in March, and we should have the data tomorrow. So look out for a VFAX article, and we'll make sure we cover it next week.
That's right, can't wait. And Riz always writes in The Driven about the EV sales. Do you reckon the March numbers reflect that the sort of delayed numbers from the shipment last couple of months for Tesla?
Possibly. I'm
spike?
hoping for a big Model Y deliveries. We had Model 3s in February, which was due to that stop sale previously. So yeah, let's find out.
Now we've got also, speaking of cars, of course, you can't speak about EVs without also mentioning charging in the same breath. So Riz has been kindly tracking this for us as well. So EV Fast Charger Tracker. Let's have a look at this.
Yeah, so we're up to over 900 fast charging sites around Australia, which is really, really good to see. We've had big growth, 1,636 chargers. So these are physical DC fast chargers. So for example, EV networks may have, 2 chargers at one of their charger sites. We consider them as 2 separate chargers, not the plugs. The plugs will probably double that as well. So 1,636 fast chargers across Australia. We've had over 100 being added in the first 3 months. And yeah, it's only going to get faster and faster given some of the new sites that are in our forecast that we know are going to be built. And Tesla's had a bit of a good run so far as well. They've added over 10 sites since sort of December, which is a pretty big thing for Tesla.
And as we know with Tesla, it's quality over quantity. Although recently they've been doing both, which is great. But I think my theory is that we're going to see, the number of chargers struggle to keep up with the number of cars being delivered until we stabilize with growth. I don't know when that's going to be, but you're always going to need more chargers, particularly around public holiday season. I did see a couple of articles around cars waiting to charge. Obviously on Good Friday, Easter Monday, they're the busy days. That's probably going to be inevitable for the next few years, I would say, as number of chargers catch up with number of cars being delivered. But I don't know, Riz, I think it's probably less negative than it was maybe a couple of years ago. The press are cluing on.
Definitely. I mean, in the last sort of, obviously what's changed between last Easter and this Easter, Tesla's opened the supercharger network to non-Teslas. So that's a whole lot more chargers available to non-Teslas as well as Tesla vehicles. We've had new sort of charge point operators really ramp things up. So BP Pulse has been doing some good work. Ampol is slowly tagging along. Who knows when they'll eventually catch up or actually, take this seriously. But yeah, BP Pulse seems to be doing quite well. EV Networks is rolling out a huge amount of sites. Chargefox, on the Chargefox, let's call it network because they don't physically own any of the chargers.
Platform.
It seems, sorry?
We'll call it the platform. Chargefox platform.
Yeah, the platform. Yeah.
Yes.
So on the Chargefox platform, there's a whole lot more coming on based on sort of qualitative data and what we're seeing EV drivers are putting out there in terms of reliability. Tesla is obviously number one. In what we're also seeing is BP Pulse and EV Networks is doing a pretty good job because they own those sites and they have vested interest in making sure that they work. So that's the general feedback. If you're sort of looking for a charger that's likely to work, look at those 3, let's say, charge point operators first. But I think the reliability overall is improving, but those that own the asset actually care about it a bit more than those that are just, let's say, on a platform as such. But I guess that those standards will change for hosts on, those Chargefox platform as well. So yeah, overall, it's a win-win situation.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, if you own the asset, you control the maintenance, you control the uptime. So yeah, I mean, I always try to look for the ones that work, obviously, but if there's no choice, sometimes the more convenient ones win for me. If there's no wait time, there's no downtime issue either. So yeah, good to see more chargers. We'll keep an eye on that for sure. Now let's move on a little bit to news about China's Xiaomi. Of course, launching their SU7 after 3 years of development, which is good to see. Now, obviously, there's no secret that this car looks very much like another car that we know of, which is fine. Look, let's just say it's basically a Porsche Taycan. It looks like one, and it's fine because Porsche is one of the best looking EVs out there, and it's no problem. So I guess what it boils down to is how this is going to drive, right? We've seen a couple of reviews online already that seem pretty positive. But Riz, what are your thoughts? You like it?
Uh, I'm not a huge fan of the front.
Mm-hmm.
The rear looks quite good. The handles look very Taycan-y. Apparently, the steering wheel looks like it's straight out of a Porsche Taycan. Having said all of those things, it's a first car from a brand, that doesn't really make cars. And by all accounts, even some of the early reviews around ride handling and dynamics of the car, on top of all the things Xiaomi is really good at, which is, integration with your phone. Some of the features inside the car are quite unique. It has a fair few. Yeah, this is a good video. Sort of covers all the things this car can do. Buttons are another thing. We'd say Tesla has a very minimalistic style of design, and they've got one big screen. Here, it's your choice. You can actually buy an accessory that it sort of magnetizes or plugs underneath your main screen, and you've got 8 or 10 other buttons on the inside and a rotary dial. So yeah, very customizable. I haven't seen a car like this that has that much customization straight from the manufacturer. So yeah, very interesting to see. And first deliveries happen today.
As you said, Riz, this is their very first car, and I think they're promising an SUV coming as well later this year. So it's pretty good for their first try. And I like the fact that if you've got the Xiaomi phone, you can actually just project it straight away, and you can see the whole phone on the screen. So it's very much integrated with their network, which is great. And look, obviously we haven't actually been inside this car, but from what I can see, the materials look pretty good. Finish looks all right. So I don't know. Hopefully we'll see. I don't know whether we'll ever see this in Australia, but still, it's good to have more choice for the global market, for sure.
Well, it's created a level of excitement that, given how many brands there are in China, and we're just observers, Elliot really knows what's going on in China. We can't wait to see his review and get him on to tell us about it.
Yeah.
But it seems to do everything pretty well, given it's their first attempt, and it's priced under a Model 3 at this stage.
That's crazy. Pretty big front too, actually. I like this guy's take on it. He's got the microphone everywhere, so a lot of ASMR. As he's opening stuff and pushing buttons and things. Yeah, it's crazy, right? 35,000 US. It's unbelievable for a car this price. Like, why wouldn't you? Amazing.
They reckon within the first 24 hours they had 88,000 orders, and over 130,000, I think, within 36 hours. So
crazy.
Yeah, crazy stuff. And crazy. And it's like, they announced it last week. It was like right after our live stream on Thursday. I happened to be on YouTube, and this thing was on. They had the live event talking about what this car is, and they're already less than a week later, they're delivering them.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yep. They don't wait, the Chinese. They want something, they go for it. As Nash says here in his post, 120,000 orders in 36 hours. Insane. Yeah. And yeah, he's making the point that, yes, a lot of inspiration from other brands. I mean, look, I think imitation's the greatest form of flattery, right? If it works, why not? Take bits and pieces. I mean, is anything original these days? I mean, come on. Everything's evolved from something, right? Everything's been made to be better than previously. So I don't mind. It's not a bad thing. Also, there's some thoughts on some posts about the car crashing. Have you read about this the last 24 hours? People saying on the stream here.
I saw one crash. I mean, it was taking it around. Yeah, one of the demo cars. He or she was taking it around a corner and just lost control. I don't know what happened there. Maybe they had the traction control off. Who knows the circumstances? But yeah, I think not sure what really happened.
Yep. We'll find out. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to know, isn't it? With news, who knows? Yeah, I guess we need to not just have demo drives, so people actually buy these cars and then test it out on the road in the real world. Yeah, we'll get Elliot on the case. I'm sure he'll be getting one very shortly. Yep. All right, cool. Let's keep going. Oh, thanks, Scott. Yep, 142 watching, 156 watching now, which is fantastic. 26 minutes in. Thanks for hitting that like button, everyone. Thank you. So Hal's saying it was actually built by GWM under the supervision of Xiaomi. Losing money big time is too good to be true. Stick to the phones. All right. Yeah, is it being built by GWM? I'm not sure about this.
It probably is. I'm not sure. They haven't done it themselves. Funnily enough, at the launch event that was live streamed and translated live on YouTube, that's what blew me away. That they had translators that kept coming on and then going off. So like it was a long event, 3 hours long, and in that as well, they sort of in the crowd was the CEO of NIO, CEO and founder of Xpeng, and CEO of Li Auto. And the founder of Xiaomi said that he's had to rely heavily on those guys to provide some mentorship, some assistance to be able to deliver this product in the time that they have. But yeah, definitely, it's probably built by a third party at the moment. Xiaomi did do a very Tesla-like flyover video through the factory, like Tesla does with the Berlin factory, showcasing their own factory. They've got a couple of gigacasting machines as well. So they're trying to, sort of, let's just say, learn from the best, copy the best, whatever you want to call it. But it seems to be that they're doing it externally now, but it will take them time. Eventually they'll do it in-house. I think they have to do it in-house, otherwise you'll be like Fisker and end up in a place where you don't want to end up.
No, exactly. Yep. It's going to be financially sustainable to start with, of course. Now, speaking of Tesla, let's move on to the Model 3 Ludicrous launch. I think probably almost imminent, or actually might have already happened, possibly. But these were sort of the start of it. Some pictures there of the event before it went live.
Yeah, so this is somewhere in, I think, Malibu, California. These emerged over the weekend.
Yep. No one does spy pictures like Tesla fans.
Yeah,
what is
right.
that?
Part of a suspension, from what I can gather.
Okay. All right.
I think it's got adaptive suspension, not air suspension,
yes.
adaptive suspension.
Okay. Some more pictures here from the Malibu showroom, posted again. So we're talking 0 to 60 in 2 seconds, or thereabouts?
Sorry, just under, maybe 2.9 seconds is what they're saying.
2.9, yes, you're right.
Big spoiler at the back. The wheels are different. They've actually got inserts in the wheels, a big Ludicrous badge.
Nice wheels.
You got the red brake calipers there. Wheels are or tires. That's Franz. It's a Cybertruck.
Yep.
Yeah. The tires are different size on the back compared to the front. Generally, pretty common with sports cars.
Yep.
And on the dash right there, there's a carbon fiber sort of piece. Hard to spot in that photo, but yeah, there's a carbon fiber piece instead of like the fabric piece that we have in the new Highlands right there.
There we go. Carbon fiber. Got it.
And then the front of the car, it's a bit more aggressive. It's got obviously there it is. So you've got air vents sort of feeding air towards the wheels and the brakes. And yeah, a bit more aggressive than your standard vehicle.
I'd like to see, hopefully, because I know previous performance Model 3s and Ys, the wheels have been symmetrical, or rather asymmetrical. Be nice to have them facing the right direction for the arrows or the alloys, just for completeness sake. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see whether they do that this time. Yeah, okay, cool. And the back's very similar apart from the rear spoiler and obviously the plaid badging as well. That looks all pretty same. Well, I guess, and sport seats too.
Yeah.
So it'd be good test for the drag strip, I guess. We know Tesla does straight line very well. Let's put this one on. There's a little demo of it in action. Not going too ludicrous. Nice. What do you reckon, Riz? When will this come to Australia?
I'd say early third quarter. And Tesla, if you're listening, there's only one place to send a Tesla Model 3 Ludicrous, and that's the Ludicrous Feed. Send
That's
it
right.
straight Tom's way,
I mean, it's
and
ready.
he'll get it tested.
That's right. The name's already there. We'll do it for you. Yeah, cool. Yep. So Hal's saying this was the press event. The main players were given access to review. Yep. I'm sure we'll see the usual. Marcus will be there. I'm sure. Marcus,
He
checking it
was.
out. Yep.
Rory was there
Yep.
from Auto Trader and a couple of
Oh, well.
others. So
Oh, thank you, Sensei. Gifting a membership. Appreciate that. Thank you. All right. Well, thanks for that, Riz. That's the Tesla news for the week, and we'll come back to more in a second. But I just wanted to touch on the Bangkok Motor Show once again. We talked about Riz's Spectre earlier, just to remind you what it looks like. There it is. But Steve also sent some more pics as well. Now, this is the BYD Yangwang U9 supercar. Funny name, but great looking vehicle. Yangwang apparently means upward looking. I looked this up. Yeah, that's where the name comes from.
no, when I met Chairman Wong today, I was expecting him to rock up in a Yangwang U9, given his name is in the car itself, upward looking, and basically it didn't happen. He arrived, I believe, in an Atto 3. So very cool. That looks awesome.
He's the chairman of the people, Riz. You know that.
Yes.
BYD is the people's car.
person.
That's right. So quad motor E4 platform, 960 kilowatts, crazy. 0 to 100 in 2.36 seconds. Top speed 309 kilometers an hour and 80 kilowatt hour LFP battery, 800 volt charging. Pretty mediocre 7 kilowatt AC, but 500 kilowatt DC charging. So that's pretty awesome. And this dancing suspension thing, which apparently can isolate each motor for the suspension. So it can do all sorts of things. Haven't seen that in action yet, but yeah. Not a bad looking vehicle, really, from the front.
Looks very cool, but sort of like McLaren, Ferrari, a bit of a mixture. And I'm yet to see proper track reviews of this car. It is on the heavier side, as most EVs are. But looks awesome.
Yeah, looks spectacular. Some more highlights also from the Bangkok show. So this is the Denza 09 that Steve also shared with me. This is like a people mover doobie. This is probably not going to come to Australia, I think, anytime soon. But also under the BYD brand, isn't it? This car?
Denza is the slightly more premium. It's not as high-end premium like Yangwang, but it's sort of their mid sort of premium brand.
And then the BYD Seagull, which might be renamed the Dolphin Mini if that arrives in Australia. Little Picanto-sized car.
Yeah.
I'm currently driving the Abarth 500e thanks to Stellantis, so I'll bring that review to you later this month. Nice little zippy little thing. And that's the young one again. And then we've got the VinFast Wild. This is the pickup truck from VinFast, Vietnamese car maker.
Yeah, we hope to see VinFast, I guess, succeed in many ways. And if they've got a ute like this, then get it down here.
Yeah. I think definitely people will be wanting stuff like this for sure. BYD, Geely, talk about Geely's ute in a second. And yeah, we'll see whether this makes it to Australia. For sure. And then Steve also shared another high quality video of the Zeekr. Now this Zeekr is coming to Australia, but not the Zeekr 007, unfortunately. This is a pretty cool car. Little walk around here. This is very, very Seal-like, I think. That sedan, sleek looking sedan. Very cool car. Zeekr. Now Zeekr is Geely, isn't it?
Yes, Geely Group owns Zeekr,
Yeah. Yeah, cool. That looks like a pretty awesome show. I'd love to be able to attend that. Maybe not this year, but we'll find a way to get there one day, Riz.
Yeah, that's right. So Bangkok's on now. I think Beijing's on in a couple of weeks' time, which would be Shanghai next year. So yeah, Bangkok seems to be on every year, and it's getting bigger and bigger.
More and more EVs, I'm sure. Yeah, I agree with you, Sydney EV. Yep, for sure. You get that lucid air feels looking at it. Very cool. Rachel's saying about the Yangwang. I reckon I would dance if I had one of those cars, maybe in tune to the suspension or timed to the suspension. It'd be pretty cool. Tokyo Motor Show. Yeah, that'd be an interesting one to attend. Cool. Well, thank you, Steve A, for sending those pictures and vids. Really appreciate that. Thank you. All right, let's get back to Tesla news. And we know that Tesla has produced their 6 millionth car this week. Great effort by the team.
Comes just over 6 months after they produced their 5th million car.
Wow.
So 5 million, 6 million, 6 odd months. So at this rate, they're sort of having a run rate of nearly 2 million cars a year.
Yep. Doing great things. Yep. To the point where those dockyards almost look AI with all those Model Ys in the same color, right? So good job, Tesla. 6 million cars. Yep. Definitely see a lot of Teslas on the roads these days in Australia. Staying with Tesla, so Tesla FSD Beta exits beta stage and now called FSD Supervised, as Tesla rolls out FSD Supervised as update 2024.3.10. So stepping up in the world. Still level 2 autonomy at this stage, I would say.
Yeah, not much has changed from what I can gather. It's a lot better from those that have been testing it for a while in the States, but I guess we have no confirmation when it would make it down here. But, I guess in some ways a good thing. Hopefully what we get is a bit more, ready to go.
Bit more refined. Get the Americans to test it and the Canadians too. Now, everyone get your 2 weeks badge ready. We've got Elon here saying, once FSD is super smooth, not just safe, we will roll out a free month trial for all cars in North America and then extend to the rest of the world after we ensure it works well on local roads and regulators approve it in that country. I've heard this before, I'm pretty sure. So, I don't know, I'm not holding my breath just yet for Australia, as much as I'd like to see it on our roads for testing. Yep, we shall see. Will it ever leave North America, Riz? Surely.
I think it would. Like they're obviously not doing it for that market alone.
No.
They're obviously the thing that you need to be worried about is what's happening in China. All the brands have some level of autonomy or autonomous testing. Even that Xiaomi SU7, they spoke about the autonomous capabilities and some of the hardware the car is using to make that happen. So that's where the real competition is. So Tesla wants to make sure they sort of launch as quickly as possible in the Chinese market. Other markets, they can probably wait a bit longer. People are not, knocking on their doors to make sure it happens sooner. But in China, the competition is just so fierce that they have to do something and do it quickly.
Yeah, you're right, Riz. I mean, Tesla obviously gearing the FSD product to North American roads. It doesn't always translate to our roads, unfortunately. It is very different having driven both continents. So, I don't know, it'd be great to have some sort of in-house testing and development here done as well. Great point by Ray, actually. What about insurance? Will they not allow claims under FSD? Yeah, it's a good point. I don't know what the deal is in America with FSD. I know here in Australia, I've previously, when I've had FSD package on our Model 3 Performance, I've had to tick that box for my insurance company to say that I've got that package. It's not much more, but obviously the package isn't doing too much anyway, but curious to see if it does actually launch as the Supervised here in Australia, whether that affects premiums or not. So it might be a question for Koba car insurance as well in a future stream. Okay, so cool. Let's move on with Tesla news. Actually, I want to show this one. This is one of the more impressive EV charging spots I've seen, actually. This is posted by Tesla Owners Club WA. And where is this? This is in, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, Kojonup in WA.
Yeah.
Now, this is like a drive-through charger stall or charger location. Now, this is what we've been sort of asking for, right? Because a lot of the current superchargers and just general DC chargers are just parking spots, and it makes it very difficult for situations like this, where you're towing a trailer to actually get that unhitched, charge your car, put it back on. Whereas if you've got a drive-through like this is the way to go, I would think, for the future of charging. So that's pretty cool.
Certainly is. I think it's impressive what the Tesla Owners Club of WA is just being able to go out and collect some of this footage and some photos as well to share with the rest of us out here.
Let's have a look. If you are listening on audio podcast, we're just showing a drone shot of a white Model Y with a trailer. This has been towed through to one of these drive-through stores in WA, and the Model Y is charging at the same time without the trailer being unhitched. So that's pretty cool. And there's some construction next door, shows probably more charging sites, I would think, in the future. I mean, this is screaming out for shelter, surely. Not just like open air chargers, right? Yeah. Amazing drone footage. Very cool. Here's some more pics here.
Yeah,
Shadowfax. Nice number plate.
very cool.
Very cool. That's a Model 3. Yeah, nice. Yeah, Mark says it's impressive but not space efficient. Oh, come on. There's plenty of room out there. Sydney EV says TOC WA has done some amazing work, not just for Tesla, but for all EV drivers across WA. 100% agreed. Really
They
have
are.
done good stuff. Yep, agreed, Ray. There's more chargers under construction just around here on this side. Okay, so Jason's got a comment about the Seagull. I assume this is the BYD Seagull Honor Edition, costing 69,000 yuan, which is around 9,000 US dollars, about 14,000 pounds. Sorry, 14,000 Australian dollars, 7,000 pounds. Gee, imagine if an EV cost that much in Australia. It'd be insane.
One of the cheapest cars in Australia has just had a price increase, and that's the MG3. And it starts at around about $18,000 or $19,000 now. So if BYD could get that car here for 20, that's fantastic. I mean, at the end of the day, they have to make money. They have to be able to, in shipping costs and all the logistics and running dealerships and giving dealerships their cut, all costs consumers or people money. So if they can land the car between $20,000 and $22,000 here, even if it's just the city runabout, there's plenty of them. I think it's definitely a huge market for that sort of stuff.
And Chairman Wang didn't whisper in your ear about anything about the Seagull or Dolphin Mini?
No, he was here to talk about big things, not Dolphin Minis. So that's what this big announcement was about.
Now, Riz, you should have driven him to the airport in your Spectre. Then he might have said something.
It's in Bangkok at the moment.
That's right. My apologies. Okay. Yeah, so Hal's saying MG3 Core is $20,000. So, yeah. I mean, there's rumors circulating from other media that the Dolphin Mini is coming here, or the Seagull, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to see. Nothing confirmed. Now, I was pleased to see this week that the Raymond Terrace Supercharger location is very close to completion. Now, for those of you in New South Wales, this is a very important site because this is like usually the first or second charger out of Sydney to the north. Raymond Terrace is just like 5 kilometers north of the Heatherbrae charger, which is very well frequented. So this is like arguably better located because there's better amenities nearby. And it's got shelter too. I can see like solar canopy too. So I think there's going to be 12 new Tesla superchargers located at the Terrace Central car park in Raymond Terrace. I love how Councillor Arnott from the Port Stephens local area said, he couldn't help himself. He said, whether you are a fan of electric vehicles or not, brackets, I don't have one and have no plans for one, the increased visitors to town to access these chargers will be great for our local businesses. So he's right. It's going to be great for local business, more EV drivers going there, topping up, getting something to eat, whatever, and then back into their cars. So yeah, I'm happy to see this. We do take some trips up north occasionally, so hopefully this will be in time for our next trip up north, for sure. We've got more shots as well. I might post this too. So this is thanks to Arm on X. Let's see if these pictures are still available to show you guys. Let's have a look. So here we go. So there's some pics of the soon-to-be commissioned V4 housing Tesla Supercharger location in Raymond Terrace. This is undercover. You know me. I love seeing stuff that's undercover. This makes me happy.
This is great. I think maybe it's the start of something bigger in terms of some sort of a signature layout for a supercharger site. So yeah, great to see.
Yeah, and we talked a lot about this as well. So they're V4 housing, but I think they're still V3 powered with these cabinets, which is fine. Like 250 kilowatts is pretty quick already. But importantly, V4 housing, which means, for those who don't know, that's not right. I don't know what happened there. So that is important because they've got longer cables. Yeah. So that's what we need. Sometimes these V3 cables are too short to actually charge non-Tesla EVs. Okay, let me show that again. So here we go. More shots of the stalls there.
That's cool.
So Yeah, very good. Well, thanks for sharing that, Arm on X. Thank you. So, let's see. We've got some comments from the crew. So, yeah, not just undercover, under solar as well. I agree.
Mm.
I agree. Heather Bray, I mean, get less traffic. I've got a feeling they'll probably close Heather Bray. Does it make sense to have Heather Bray and Raymond Terrace so close together? Don't know. I know Raymond Terrace is slightly off the highway, but you're not losing that much. I've seen on the map. It's just a slight detour to get a bit of a charge. Now, Tensei's got a question for us. From the Sydney to Adelaide direct drive, hey, how many kilometers apart should a 1015 stall DC charger be, every 150 or 200? Yeah, I think 150 to 200 is probably reasonable. 200 is probably okay for that many stalls. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it depends on the EV that you're driving. If all of them are open to non-Teslas and your EV can charge there. So if you're sort of driving that similar sort of road trip that we did to Canberra and back in the MG4 base model, 150 kilometers will be more than enough, I think. And I think that's the national sort of federal government's rollout's intention, not to have a charger more than 150 kilometers apart. So maybe that is a good sort of metric to use for majority of the EVs.
Yeah, apparently in Germany and France, policy is to be every 50 kilometers. Again, not a bad thing. Maybe 150 to 200 kilometers for the big big sites with like 15 to 20, 30, 40, 50 stalls in the future, but every 50 kilometers, like smaller sites. So just in case you need to top up for whatever reason, you've got the smaller sites in between. And yeah, Jason's saying Tari superchargers are on the side of the road, so probably no cover. I think the majority of these regional sites are actually no cover, unfortunately. Yeah, I agree with you, Midge. Sharing pics of what Seal can't use. So unfortunately, the BYD Seal still cannot use, and the Atto 3 as well, still cannot use the V3 superchargers.
It was raised again this week on some of the Facebook groups and stuff, and I have followed up with BYD or their local arm anyway, and said, what's going on? It's been 6 months since we last raised it. And they said they'll have to talk to their engineers and get back to me. So we're doing what we can, but yeah, I'm hoping it's a software fix. But last I heard, it could be a mixture of software and hardware, which means retrofits or not possible. So let's find out. But I'm doing what I can, because we need to have a follow-up and a closure to that situation, because Tesla seems to be, even some of the newer chargers are open to non-Teslas as well. I believe that charger we had a look at in WA, that's open to non-Teslas as well.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I've done my part too. I've tried to ask as high up the chain as I can for that Tesla supercharger question for Seals and Atto 3s. No answer yet. So yeah, we do need more discourse from BYD shortly about this, because it might affect their sales, right? Why would you buy a BYD if you can't charge at a Tesla supercharger? This is the question we need to ask.
My good friend Chairman Wong has previously said that Tesla and BYD are good friends while declaring war on all the ICE manufacturers. Good friends. You know, he's diplomatic. He said we're good friends. There's some commentary around saying, you know, it's Tesla trying to stop BYD from charging, and you know, it's but it's not the case, because the Dolphin charges. So it's, you know, maybe they need to have cuter names for their other cars, and then they'll start charging. But yeah, I think it's not to do with. It's an issue. Let's hope that there's some sort of resolution in the next 2 to 3 months.
Let's hope it's software, because I mean, you know, the Seal works with other DC fast chargers. I've proven this in my videos. So I don't know what it is. We've got to get to the bottom of it for sure. We'll keep asking the question, Riz, every week. We'll keep nagging them. Okay, cool. Let's take some comments. So John's saying Heather Bray will be bypassed for the M1 extension to Raymond Terrace they're building. Yep, that makes sense to me. Now, yeah, Heather Bray is always busy with weekend day trippers to Hunter Valley. Also true. So we definitely need more chargers. There's only 6 in Heather Bray at the moment. Last time I went there. Yep, John's saying I am impressed by RAA chargers in South Australia. Lots of chargers with multiple stalls. In comparison, most of the Queensland electric highway has single. I mean, we're past the years of single DC charger stalls. We need at least 4 for each site, I think, if the power grid allows it.
I think to be fair to the Queensland Electric Highway, their first generation of chargers, it was one DC and sort of backup AC.
Mm.
The next round, I think, from what I heard from memory, it's minimum 4.
Good.
So they were so far ahead of their time when they had that rolled out. So now I think with the rollout that they've got, they're adding multiple DC chargers, such as the New South Wales government is doing as well. And John, if we reckon that Queensland and others are a bit behind, Victoria is a long, long way behind. We're rolling out chargers right now that are one charger with no AC backup. This is happening now. And there's plenty of chargers where the chargers are in the ground, there's no power. One charger, one CHAdeMO plug, one CCS plug. That's our government stance. So yeah, if you want to go 5 years back in time, visit Victoria.
Yes, the enemy of good is always better, Riz. Yep, they can definitely do better on that front. Oh, look, Jeremy's back with a joke. The chicken crossed the road by EV because it wanted to cross in style, but why was there a cow in the EV2? To get to the other side.
Oh.
Thanks, Jeremy. Welcome back. Welcome back. Jason saying BYD plus Tesla versus the world. Yeah. Why not everyone else in the EV world plus versus the world? Terry saying not real quick on the feedback at BYD.
Yeah.
We'll keep asking that question for you. No problem. Jason saying the sealed chargers at Byron Bay. Yes, they're probably V2. In fact, I'm pretty sure Byron Bay Macadamia Castle is V2. And yeah, it'll work at the V2s. How can you tell it's V2? It's got 2 plugs. V3's only got 1 plug. Kangaroo Island Stan saying RAA network is excellent. There's always a 7 kilowatt alternative at each DC station just in case. Now that's very important. Backup is very important. Thank you, Sensei, gifting us a membership as always. Thank you. Oh, Rachel's the beneficiary.
Hey.
Well done. Thank you. Welcome. All right, cool. And look, we've got a message from Rahul. Rahul's helping us out still, Riz, and this is a picture of him charging in I'm going to pronounce this wrong, Meeniyan in Victoria. Good, tidy looking installation. Chargefox.
Yeah, so that's I think it's the council down there that have bought these chargers and have put them onto the Chargefox platform. So yeah, it's good to see these chargers are finally coming online.
Yeah, that's good. I can recognize Rahul's blue car there charging away. Oh no, probably about to be plugged in. Yeah, cool. And it's the point was made during this conversation that it's good to have chargers to support local establishments like cafes and shops and things in regional areas. So yeah, a way to give back to the community as well, having these chargers around the area. Cool. Mark's helping me out. Pronounce Meeniyan. Thank you. I knew I'm going to get that wrong. Thanks, Mark. Cool. And I think Charles has joined us too. Hello, Charles. Welcome. That's okay.
Hey, Charles.
Nice of you. Better than late than never. Okay. All right. Let's move on with this one here. So I missed this last week, I think. This is the new NRMA Nullarbor Roadhouse, fully commissioned now. Off-grid 75 kilowatt tritiums. Now, are these the one with the diesel backup as well?
Not sure.
Not this thing?
It looks like there's a cogen, some sort of a generator there. Actually, just on this, looks good. They've got tritium chargers in, backup, under solar canopy. So they are getting, quite a bit of feedback to incorporating into their sites. Interesting on this one, Tom, one of our viewers, I think a good friend of the show, Richard Laxton, makes a good point that these are not showing up on the NRMA app.
Oh.
So, I'm not sure what's going on, but I think last time he had a look, they weren't showing up. So I'm not sure whether they're supposed to be showing up there or Chargefox app or what's going to happen. But yeah.
Funded by New South Wales government.
Yeah.
There you go. Funding other states now, New South Wales.
Yeah,
I'll have to,
they're propping up the whole country now.
I'll have to fund Victoria soon.
Oh, that's a big task. We keep giving money away to Commonwealth Games and others. So
Yeah, I recognize that Nullarbor Roadhouse in other EV road trip pictures I've seen. So good to see that nearby, and undercover, of course. Good to have undercover. Yes, I think Sydney EV saying yes. I just saw this one. Diesel backup, same as the Tennant Creek one. Okay, cool. Charles makes a good point regarding stall counts. Important to consider when they were installed. 5 years ago, we were building to get coverage in all areas. That's true. These days, we are building for capacity, especially with like almost 200,000 EVs on our roads, Riz. So
that's it.
keep them coming. Yep, that's right. It's got a solar roof. That's something. NRMA looking after EV drivers. Good. Yeah, thanks, Ron. We're doing our best pushing the BYD Tesla V3 charging issue. Yeah, I think the more questions that get asked, hopefully we get an answer soon.
Well, I'll try and share this stream with the local team after the show, and sort of say, hey, there's huge demand. We want to know what's going on. So anything that they can share with us would be good.
Now, Charles is saying someone showed a pic of them charging at 75 kilowatts at night. Diesel generators didn't start up, so the battery was doing its job. Excellent.
Yeah.
That's good to see. I mean, 75 kilowatts in the middle of, look, I won't say middle of nowhere, but, it's pretty remote. It's pretty good, right? We're getting there. Yeah. Oh, Stan will be going there very shortly. So, yes, thank you, Stan. Report back to our stream. That'd be fantastic. Thank you. Not much mobile service out there, so this is where Starlink would be handy. Yep. Yes, Peter's saying you can see the chimney style exhaust.
Yeah.
So, yep, that's the diesel backup. Okay. Coolies. All right. Let's move on a little bit. So, speaking of Elliot, we talked about Elliot earlier on. He's in London at the moment. London. Doing fully charged live over there. But this is him pointing out that the Geely Ute is now confirmed right-hand drive version with the electric RD6 pickup truck. 3 batteries, 200 kilowatt e-motor, rear-wheel drive. So there we go. That could be coming to Australia. I think he even said it's got a Aussie-sounding name, Radara. Instead of the radar.
This is in the right-hand drive configuration. These photos there, you can see. Pretty clean, minimalistic sort of interior compared to what some of the other Utes have. I mean, Utes aren't your passenger cars, so based on that, it looks pretty decent. They've got a big sort of space to put, bags or other things just underneath the gear lever there. And yeah, pretty reasonable design. So, Geely, get it out here.
Yeah. And I think, Riz, you wrote an article as well. This is not an April Fool's joke, everyone. This is true. So 1st of April, but this is true. It is coming, isn't it?
That's what they're saying to right-hand drive markets. They haven't confirmed Australia yet, but every time someone's asked the question, they've said, keep guessing or keep an eye out or something like that. So we'll keep guessing as much as we can. It's been nearly 2 years since it was launched in China. Elliot, our good friend, did a video on this, which was great, and he obviously shared this bit of news as well. So yeah, I think we just need to see it.
That's right. So I mean, under 40,000 Aussie, like that'd be crazy, right? I mean, there's only one offering at the moment, which is the LDV T60 Max, and that's very expensive compared to this. But this is like 40 grand. It's just a very good price point.
Yeah, and just worth noting that this is conversion from sort of the Chinese prices, and it's probably likely to be 55, 60 grand. But whatever it is, it's a good start compared to the 92,500 that LDV ET60 rear-wheel drive with just one battery and standard sort of vehicle, which barely anyone bought. So this would be a good step up.
Yeah, starting at 63 kilowatt hours, so that's a reasonable size battery pack. Do we have anything on payload or towing at this stage? Or too early? Nothing. Yep. Still looks good. That's the kind of stuff we see on our roads, stashing around at 6 a.m. in the morning. So, yeah, they'll fit right in for sure. And there's Elliot's review, I think, or at least one of the fully charged review. Yep. Nice. Cool. Oz Scream is saying an all-wheel drive version has just been released as well. Good. Yep, just what we needed. The Northern Territory from Jasper.
Yeah.
Very good. The pollies will be. Oops, sorry. The pollies will be shocked. Cheapish EV Ute. Yeah. What will they say? Now, interesting article this week. Updates to South Australia road rules, including rules for EV charger parking. So let's have a look at this driven article here. So new fines announced for icing and squatting at EV charging sites in South Australia. There's a $75 on-the-spot fine. And also EVs actually incur a bigger fine, $111 if you're parked there not charging. So
Yeah,
that should hopefully get rid of some ice holes and EV holes too.
well, that's right. We covered one, I think, a couple of weeks ago where a truck was taking up 3 or 4 bays. Um, although the fines are there, what happens at Tesla Supercharger sites, as an example? Because who goes and books who? Because Tesla doesn't get involved with anything. Is it actual police officers going out there and finding people? Or anyway.
Well, the article says local councils will be installing the signage alongside EV parking. So, I mean, we know that the rangers are actually employed by the local government areas, at least in New South Wales anyway. I'm not sure about South Australia. So I guess it'd be up to the individual councils to get involved and get and police these things. I don't know. I haven't heard. I mean, I don't know personally whether people have actually been fined for icing EV spots at all. It'd be good to get that kind of data. Is that available freely, Riz? Do you know?
Not that I'm aware of, but I guess now if we talk about councils doing it, it's revenue raising, definitely. I think
Ah,
they'll put they'll put
now we're
multiple
talking.
people on it.
Yeah, now we're talking. Yeah, that's right. Revenue raising. Councils love that.
EVs make councils money. Imagine that headline.
Yeah, that's right. God, that wouldn't fly. How does the council find out about them so they can find them? Yeah, we'll just have rangers walking around with cameras, right? That's what they do for normal parking spots. So be the same. It's funny, isn't it? Like we scroll through the news all the time, Riz, for this show, and I know I'm personally always confused because you've got on the one hand like half the articles are like, oh, EVs aren't selling, there's drop in demand. And the other side, like, oh, too many EVs, right? Look at the queues on Good Friday long weekend, like. Yeah, what is it going to be? I think the mainstream media are confused. Are they trying to push the not enough demand or too many EVs, not enough chargers story? Who knows?
Oh,
It's
it's
confusing.
an ongoing thing, right? Like even that councillor that was talking about the Raymond Terrace chargers, I think. I mean, I know they're walking a fine line because there's plenty of ratepayers that say you're wasting money on charging infrastructure, blah blah blah. So they're sort of trying to be cautious, and councils don't want to get involved in this stoush because media is hyping it up to a level where it's not always true. Like don't let don't let the truth get in the way of a good story.
Good story,
And
yep.
that's what they continue to do.
Yep.
So until we get to a stage we'll start to normalize, right? And until that happens, it's a battle for all of us to fight, whether it's at our family barbecues or when we go out and meet new people and they want to learn a bit more about EVs. Only we are the ones that can spread sort of the truth that may get through compared to what they watch on mainstream media.
Yeah. I don't know. When I first bought a Tesla, I was a little bit defensive, trying to defend buying an EV. But I've found over the years that generally doesn't help win arguments, being argumentative too much. So I try to keep it lighthearted now. Like, agree with them on 1 or 2 points, but still the overall message is yes, EVs are still the way to go. It's still much cheaper to run day to day, especially if you live in the city. Occasional road trip, yes, it does take longer, but there are more charges, all those usual things that we say. But, I think keeping it lighthearted does help my personal situation anyway. So, I don't know. What do you guys do when in your workplaces? I'm sure the conversation comes up all the time. Here's a funny one from Sydney EV. Like the EVs are too expensive next to EVs price drop ruin your resale. That's a funny one, isn't it? There's always a two-edged sword to resale value.
Well, this is exactly it. Do people want cheaper EVs or not? Oh, I'm worried
Yeah.
about getting an EV because the market keeps crashing. And I'm like, all of a sudden, everyone becomes a industry price expert of vehicles without ever looking at 10 cars that are sold in the market. So
Yeah.
it's just fear mongering, and I think we can. I did an article, I think this week or late last week, on used EV prices, and there's Teslas you can get for under 35 grand now. That was
Yeah.
unheard of. Like 2022 paid nearly double that, 70 grand for a used Tesla.
Yeah.
So the prices are coming down. That's only a good thing, and that flow-on effect on MGZSs and some of those cheaper to originally buy EVs, including BYD Atto 3s in the next 12 months or so, a lot more people will be able to buy them on the used EV market. So it's only a good thing. I think state governments' incentives that wanted to make sure more used EVs get on the market that are more affordable for more people, it's happening. So yeah, we know it, we accept it. Whether the average driver, they're quite happy with whatever car they're driving, and at least our conversations can help them start to research and explore.
Yeah. What's curious too is that, we reached 9% in February 2024. Will we reach 10% in 2024 March, which is this month's VFAX, right? That's the question. Because if it's 10%, 1 in 10 people suddenly are owning or at least bought an EV last month. So all these naysayers, surely they know someone in their family or circle of friends who has bought an EV. And it might be someone they love very dearly. Are they going to call them stupid all of a sudden? Right? This is the thing. So they've got to be very careful, I think, once we get to that tipping point, whatever that number might be. So interesting times we live in. All right, we're almost at the end of the show, but we've got a couple more just to share. So, Riz, this is your article on The Driven about the Mini launching 2 new variants of the Cooper Electric with lower pricing.
Yeah, looks cool. Like I've got a soft spot for Mini. They've always made some cool cars.
Yeah.
And yeah, this one appears to be pretty cool. Minimalistic, has a big sort of digital rotary screen in the middle. I'd like to see what BMW has done with it. For a bit of context, BMW Group owns Mini. This Cooper, I think, will be built in the UK. But the Countryman, which is another one, a slightly larger vehicle that they have, that will be built in Germany. That's also arriving later this year. 41 kilowatt hour battery pack, 305 kilometers of WLTP range, 54 kilowatt pack in another variant, the sort of upper end variant with 400 kilometers of range, 11 kilowatts charging. They didn't give a proper sort of DC rate. I mean, they did say 135 kilowatts of power, but they didn't say exactly what's the fast charging rate on this vehicle. So pretty quick for base model, 7.3 seconds to 100 kilometers, and 6.3 seconds in the Cooper SE, which is that variant with the larger battery pack.
Yeah. Very nice. This is no slouch. So these are very nice models, and probably reasonably priced as well for a Mini, honestly. $60,000, you probably expect that from a Mini for the brand. So you're paying for the brand, obviously, the name. But, 41 kilowatt hours is pretty good for 300 kilometers of range if you can get that in the city.
Well, Tom, you've driven the Fiat 500e and sort of, where what this would be like. I'm sure you'll get your hands on one of these when they do finally launch. I think it will be a good little thing to test drive because we don't have a lot of cars in this segment, particularly what is the 3-door?
Oh, the Fiat?
Oh no, so
the Mini.
The Mini, and it's the small cars, smaller hatchbacks. We don't have many at all.
No, definitely. That's why we want the Dolphin Mini to come here. The Seagull, right? This is the kind of stuff that we'll compete with. Just for context, the Fiat 500e is $52,000. So
yeah.
This is definitely a competitor to that vehicle. And the Abarth 500e, which is the performance one, is how much is that going for?
60 or 58.
Yeah. I'm trying to find a price. Yeah, I mean, having driven it only for a day, 60,000. Here we go, 60,500, so $8,000 more. Having only driven it for a day, it's pretty zippy, especially in the sport mode. Just zipping around Sydney today, so it's a nice little car. But I wouldn't mind testing the Mini as well. So good to see more competition for sure. So BYD, if you're watching, Chairman Wang, yep, we want the Seagull Mini. Sorry, the Seagull Mini, the Dolphin Mini to come here to compete with these other minis. Another Scorpionissimo, Abarth.
Scorpionismo,
yeah, whatever it's called. Yeah, should be good. Bird versus Arachnid. Who's going to win? Nice. Yeah, one thing about the European cars, Peter, I agree. They are quite expensive to service. Yeah, it's very true. Mm.
Yeah, well, the leather from Bavaria, the cows are expensive to get the leather.
Oh,
If with BMW, Bavarian Motor Works, that makes the Mini as well. But no, European cars are, and I don't know what the right or wrong answer is here because their dealers still need to make money. It's ultimately it's very capitalist sort of environment that they operate in. So unless someone can break that mold, which I guess Tesla has tried to do and have succeeded in some ways, but a lot of BMW customers and Mini customers will be going back to the same brand.
mm. Yep. As you know, people have a lot of brand loyalty, not just for EVs. So yeah, I mean, people will be happy to pay a premium to have the Mini badge and the Fiat badge over like a relatively unknown like a BYD. So
Hmm.
yeah, look, more competition, more choice is a good thing. Okay, and finally, Riz, a community announcement for what is it, the Off Grid Festival you want to share with us in
Yeah,
Chiltern, Victoria.
it's on this weekend, the Off Grid Living Festival. Apparently, they've got a pretty big electric vehicle area as well. Tesla will be there. A couple of other EV brands are also representing. Australian Electric Vehicle Association representatives will be there as well. So, if you're sort of wanting to go for a bit of a day trip, whether you're in New South Wales or Victoria, worth checking it out. There, it is ticketed entry, but I think that with what they have out there, and if you're sort of thinking about sustainable living, it's going to be good and plenty of EVs to see as well. So worth checking out for a bit of a road trip. I also heard, I think I may be wrong, Tesla will be doing test drives out of Wodonga
Hmm.
or somewhere. They're actually taking vehicles out there to do some test drives. So anyone that's in the area that hasn't driven a Tesla or wants to drive one, check out Tesla's website or their Australia New Zealand X page because I believe they are heading out there this weekend. But
Hmm.
they'll be at the show anyway, showcasing their latest models.
Ah, here we go. Jason from Tech AU has
Yeah,
just
that's
chimed
it.
in. Yes, that is correct. Wodonga test drives. Thanks, Jason.
Awesome.
Thanks for joining us too. Peter says powered by Commodore, like Commodore 64. I don't know which Commodore it is. I don't know. They do off-grid solar and solar pumping specialists, so apparently. And finally, if I didn't say enough last week, I want to say it again, is that the Spectre is a go for the Ludicrous Feed channel. We've got a
Hey,
test drive coming up in May next month, so I'm very much looking forward to that day. It's going to be a one-day only thing, so yeah, looking forward to doing a little walk around with the PR team and hopefully a little test drive as well. So I have to take it around the more posh areas of Sydney to showcase this vehicle. Yeah, 600, as Rich said, six to $700,000 vehicle. I might have to put on a nice pair of pants for that day. Maybe some nice shoes too. We'll see. But should be good. Should be good. I want to press that brake pedal to open the door. Is you know what I'm talking about?
that's what it is. It's uh, what would be really interesting to see the options that are on the car that you get to see to
Yeah.
drive in to have a look at.
Yep.
Because yeah, options alone, I think there's like some chrome bits on there that are like $30,000. I think the umbrella is another. If you want a certain, handle for the umbrella, it's a couple of $1,000s. So
Yep.
if you want that skylight roof thing, that would be tens of thousands of dollars. So yeah, basically everything you touch, if you want to change it or customize it, it's a couple of Dolphin Minis. Everything you touch. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I might make it look worse standing next to it. But the question is, does it hug you at night? Does it kiss you? The Spectre.
Well, you never know. It's it got the
That
spirit of
costs money
ecstasy.
too.
Yeah, that's right. Spirit of ecstasy on there, and it's yeah. Anyway, still a very cool, outlandish thing. I think I did hear BMW owns Rolls-Royce. A lot of the technologies under it are the 7 Series, and BMW reckons that this will be the best year of sales for Rolls-Royce
Hmm,
cars ever.
nice.
So they're, and obviously with Tom, you going out there, they know that just with all the high net worth individuals,
Oh,
you know, and on our live stream,
I mean, they're all
they're
here.
gonna sell a dozen.
That's right. That's right. Yep. I've suddenly gained a lot of friends on the chat here. Everybody wants to help out on that day. So yeah, no problem. To have a live event. All right. Well, yeah. Stay tuned. We'll keep promoting that very special day coming up in May. So thank you to Rolls-Royce. Yes, the Rolls-Royce of EVs, the Spectre, coming to you live on Ludicrous Feed. Riz, thank you once again for another very informative but entertaining stream on Wednesday, 3rd of April, 2024.
Awesome one, Tom. Like I said in the beginning of the stream, can't believe it's already April. But yeah, thanks for everyone contributing, sending those photos from Thailand and all over the place. Really, really good to see. Keep doing the good work, and yeah, we'll look forward to seeing you on the next one.
That's right. If you spot anything on the roads in Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, or wherever in Australia or even around the world, tag me and Riz on X or any other social media platforms that we're on, and we'll be happy to talk about it that following week. The Cyberster's been doing the rounds in Sydney, getting spotted as well, so that will be a very fun car to drive. Looks very much like a MX-5, nice little roadster. We might do a little road trip if we get our hands on that, hopefully in a couple of months when they launch it to media to test. So all right, well, thanks everyone for joining us tonight. It's been a great show, and we shall see you all next Wednesday, hopefully, at 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time as daylight saving ends here in New South Wales and Victoria. Thanks, Riz. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you all next week. Take care. Bye. Happy charging.